Hello everyone and welcome to another edition of Coding My Way In. And as you can see, the energy is at an all-time high this week. Not like last week where I was like bummed out and sad. This week, man, it was victory. I was able to redeem myself. And yeah, I was finally able to overcome what could basically be my first bug. I was stuck for 4 days trying to connect my Socket.io application with my Next.js application, and man, it felt so good. It felt so good. And the way that I did it, it was basically I had to do a combination of ES modules and common modules. And as you can see here, it was nothing crazy once I learned how to fix it, but trust me, I really struggled figuring this out. And all I did was, as you can see here, I just made whatever was required for the database and the modules for my schema and my MongoDB database. I made those into common modules, and everything else that was not related to either the database, I just made them and left them as ES modules. But if you guys really want to hear the entire story on how I came across different issues until I was finally able to figure it out, I made a YouTube video, shameless plug. So I decided to make a YouTube video explaining how I was able to fix this and how I was able to get to the conclusion that what I did was the right fix. So it's in my YouTube channel, is how I connected Next.js, blah, 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 without no TypeScript. So if you want the whole breakdown on how I did it, I recommend you to go and watch that video. So that's that. It's a shameless plug. So other than that, today has been a good day, especially yesterday. So the more I code, the more I see things, the more I understand and learn. So it's getting to a point that, because at the beginning when I started coding 10 months ago, the issue was that I didn't know how to do the things that I needed to do, and I didn't know what I didn't know. So now what's happening is I might not know how to do something, but I know that I need to do something, which is a plus, because it's very difficult to do something when you don't know what you don't know. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's where I'm getting to my journey so far. Now I'm understanding and seeing patterns, and things are clicking, and now I know when I need to do something, when I don't have to do it. So, for example, besides connecting my Socket.io to the Next.js application, the other thing that I wanted to do was make sure that when I click a user that I was holding a conversation with, for that conversation not to only show up in the chat feed, but to also show up just like any regular chat application. So let's say I was speaking with Uncle SYP. As you can see here, you see the 456? That's not an error. That's a test. And when you click, it takes you to the conversation that you were having with Uncle SYP. So the last text that Uncle SYP sent me was 456. And let's say I choose someone that I didn't have a conversation with. Oh, I was speaking with Batman. Let me see who I didn't speak with. So you see Amaterasu God. I haven't had a conversation with him, so nothing shows up. But if I click, it shows a conversation. So I still need to make sure I fix that only shows the conversations that different users are using, because what is happening is it's showing both the conversations that two people are having and the conversations that another user with another user had. Hopefully that makes sense. But I'm getting closer and closer every day, and this was a very good feeling. I wanted to make sure that when you click, you see it in the chat list, the last message that the person sent, and when you click, it shows up here. I still need to work on the UI, to make it more presentable, like chat applications. Somebody sends and it goes to the right side, the other person goes to the left side with its text. You know the deal. So that is the update so far with the application. It's getting closer and closer to being done, and man, I'm really proud of how this coming so far. I've learned so much with this application, and when I was saying that, now I'm getting to the point that I might not know something, or that I also don't know something, but know that I need to do something. A good example is how I was able to do this. Like when I click a new chat and I want to go and see the last conversation that I was having with an individual, I learned how to do that this week. I already knew, for example, I was having issues when I clicked. It was looking for every conversation. It was looking like this, but I wanted to make sure to make it as realistic as possible. So when you have a conversation, I want the last text to see. So I was coding and trying things out because everything was coming from last message. As you can see here, this is where the magic happens to create like the new chat. And I had this property, last message, and I kept thinking to myself, man, it's not working. Why nothing is working? I keep trying to add things. And that's when I realized, Israel, I was like, I can see the user, but I can't see the message. And then that's when it hit me, like, Israel, of course you only see the users because you are fetching the data from the user's API route. So that means if I want to also fetch the content, the messages, and the conversations that I'm having, that means that I need to fetch from the database the conversations that I'm having with the different people. And that's when okay, now what I have to do is I just need to make sure that I connect the dots, and I created my own API route. And now what I learned, which is new to me, how to make sure not only for the messages to save, but to the application to understand the conversations that are being taken place with the users that is taking place with, meaning the sender to the recipient and the recipients to the sender. So from A to B to B to A. So in the application, I needed to work out the fact that not only I want the chat, the text, the conversation, but I also needed to make sure that I got the right people that are speaking with one another. So if A sends a message to B, or B sends a message to A, I need to make sure that the application understands that. And I was able to do that, and it was actually not that difficult. But other than that, that's where I'm at with the application. It's getting there, guys. It's getting better and better. And I'm very proud, because the one thing that I wanted to do was for next week, like I told you, I'm going to my first tech conference, which is the Commit Your Code, which is next week, and I'm very excited. I'm not going to lie, I'm a bit nervous because it's my first tech conference, and I'm just doing my best to push this project to get it presentable. So I still have until Wednesday morning to do my best to have this project presentable so I can show it when I'm there, if I'm able to show it. But I just want to have something that people can see so they can have an idea on where my skill set is. So that I'm putting some time in. Hopefully I have a couple more things that I want to add before Wednesday. But this was one of the things that I really wanted to add. But going back to the meetup, the conference, I'm very excited about it. And I'm not going to lie, I was speaking with my wife earlier today, and I was a little bit antsy and a little bit nervous because I was like, man, there's going to be people at a complete different level. People that have way more experience than me. I'm going to look like a clown there. And we spoke, and she made me feel better. And I was telling her one of the things that I was like, dude, like, for instance here, this is one of the talks that are taking place. Migrating a monolith to cloud native and the stumbling blocks about what you don't know about. But I don't even know what monolith is or cloud native. Like, so it's so many things that I still need to learn. But I'm very excited, man. I'm still a little bit nervous, but I'm really looking forward to this conference, and I hope I get to meet great people and make relationships with. And for a video next week, I'll see if I can make one. I'm not sure, but what I do promise is I'm going to make a YouTube video of my experience in the tech conference. So you guys can bet on that one. I will make a video, show my experience at the tech conference, and I'm very excited about that. And thank you so much for watching. See you on the next one.